Hello and welcome back to Waypoint, a podcast not for the person in the apartment above me who's been playing piano very loudly and who has delayed our recording session. That person is not allowed to listen to this one. I'm Julian, I'm the game master.
I'm Sanya, I play Charlotte.
I'm Viola, I play Moon.
I'm Mimi, I play Max, and also I'm at my parents'. If I sound weird, it's because their basement is trash.
Yeah, that's just gonna happen sometimes, I guess. In editing the last episode, I really noticed that, let's say it was a pretty slow one. It's probably the longest episode we've recorded to this point, and not a lot happened. I hope this episode will move at a slightly faster pace.
But I kind of have to say I had so much fun last time.
We're also kind of moving into the point of this specific arc of the story where the plot is going to be a lot looser, where there's going to be a lot more. It's going to move depending on how the characters choose to advance in the plot. Because, like, basically all we've done so far was the intro of you getting to the headquarters, which was pretty streamlined. But I hope this episode we get to the point where things are going to be a bit more fluent.
Can't wait. This is our chance to mess up Julian's carefully laid plans.
That's perfect. No, totally do that if you're cool with me, like, saying at some points, please pause for a second. I'm going to have to think about this.
That's where the best stuff happens.
Okay. I'm just gonna drop you into the situation again that you were in last time. This time, without a spiffy intro. I think you remember what happened.
There was a lot of marble that wouldn't make sense. Like,
it's a lot of very logical marble as you left an elevator and stepped right into the office of the leader of the Syndicate of Superheroes, Knight Rider. I gave a slight explanation of what Knight Rider's costume looks like last time, but I feel I haven't given you the image that I have in my head. Have y'all seen The Queen's Gambit?
No, sorry.
Yeah?
No.
It's on Netflix. It's pretty good. I recommend watching it. Thomas Sangster's in it.
Okay.
Oh, I
who's
know.
like one of these actors that always looks young.
Yep.
And exactly how he's dressed in that show, just with a domino mask.
Okay.
Imagine that.
Okay.
It's a very iconic look.
I just have a personal vendetta against the game of chess. Like, the entire game.
Why?
Well, a lot of people thought I should learn it because they deemed me as intelligent.
Oh.
But I think it's just really fucking boring.
Anyways, he just got up from his chair as you all entered and has only spoken to Charlotte so far, whom he asked, so this is another imposter trying to take the place of my mentor.
Moon shoots a quick thought at you two. Who's this guy? I think he's important. Is he?
I'm not gonna answer, I'm busy with other stuff.
Well, Max is a bit torn between being starstruck and also a bit mad on Charlotte's behalf. But I think from her thoughts you can gather that yes, he's indeed a big deal.
He steps in front of his desk and kind of takes like a seat on the side of the desk, facing towards you, and putting one leg above the other in a kind of relaxed position, and waves all of you closer.
And for the record, I'm not an imposter. I'm actually Starbull's legacy. Whatever.
Ding! Roll playbook.
Well, you can call yourself Starbolt_7, maybe? Like a forum user whose preferred name was already taken, because you're not the first one to come in here calling themselves Starbolt. There's been 6 other speedsters, exactly your set of powers, who told me they were the great follow-up, they knew Starbolt, the same story, all over again. All of them, I'm sure, very talented. None of them found their place in the SOS, because I don't stand for this. I don't stand for this kind of mockery.
I'm not mocking him, I'm honoring him.
Julian, quick question. Can I sense his thoughts, or is he shielded? Has he shielded them?
He doesn't seem to actively shield himself right now. You're getting thoughts from him.
Okay. Moon whispers to Charlotte, like mentally whispers, I mean, if you want, I can try sending him one of your memories. That would mean touching, but I can try if you want.
As Moon brings that idea forth, he steps forward, hands in his pockets, and he says, "Okay, you're honoring him. Tell me, what have you done so far?"
I mean, I just arrived.
You just arrived. You just arrived. You're not the first to just arrive. You're not the first to arrive with a letter of recommendation. You know what most other people have done who've received one of those.
We already fought a villain and saved people.
A villain. We normally don't let people in here who have fought a villain. We normally invite people who have proven themselves, actual superheroes. People who don't just want to get in on name recognition alone. Before anyone recognized Starbolt for who he was a blur that nobody really knew. He solved crimes. He fought villains all over the highways. Starbolt was a hero before people knew the word Starbolt. How do you think you have any right to claim his legacy, having done absolutely nothing so far? He's trying to use a move on you.
Oh.
Basically, he makes you mark a condition, and you get to pick which condition you mark based on your reaction to what he's telling you.
Okay.
So, for example, you could mark afraid that you won't be accepted here. You could mark hopeless based on your reaction to his words. You could mark angry if you don't want to take them at face value and more lash out in reaction to them. You can go with either of the conditions and as that sort of show your character.
Okay. You know what? I deserve that name. And you have no idea what I'm capable of. But Starbolt did. So he gave me his name. And he chose me to be his legacy. So you don't get to judge me, okay? You do not get to do that to me. Because I worked so hard for it. And you don't get to take that away from me. And I'm marking angry.
Okay, that makes sense. I'm thinking right now, situations like this can easily lead into moves. I'm thinking if any of the moves really make sense here. Directly engage a threat is pretty physical.
I mean, you could also say, provoke him, because say what you're trying to get them to do. Yeah, and I think what you're trying to get him to do is, respect you.
I think this is less of a provocation, though. I think actually directly engage a threat makes the most sense here. Because, the results you can get are stuff like impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition. And because damage is dealt in this game in the form of emotional conditions. So I think directly engage a threat for, a verbal exchange is not that
He
wild.
actually is, threatening your identity in a way.
Yeah.
Okay,
There's a
so
logic to that.
I'm gonna trigger the move, directly engage a threat.
The roll me a plus danger.
Oh no. No. I rolled a 1 and a 2.
Oh, oops.
Uh-huh.
And
What's your
I
plus
have
danger?
danger. I have -1.
Oh no. Oh, that's not great.
Okay. That was really bad.
So you don't impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition, I'm afraid,
Yeah.
But you mark
in
potential.
this situation.
I understand.
But you do mark potential.
I mark potential. Woohoo.
Tell me, how many conditions have you already marked at this point?
I have insecure and angry.
Yes, I don't know what you're capable of, because I haven't seen you do anything. You said you engaged a villain. I have a small report here from Incent, who was there at the scene. Engage is a pretty generous way of describing that situation.
But we save people.
Moon lifts their hand and directs their thoughts at Knight Rider. I can show you the memory if you want.
I don't need to see any memory. I can make myself an image of the situation.
But it's probably a wrong image. From what I can sense, it's not very accurate.
He turns towards Moon, still looking kind of pissed, but it seems like he's taking a deep breath as he looks at them and says, "You must be Moon."
Moon waves.
The psychic, I heard about you. He picks a small stack of paper off of his desk and starts flipping through it and says, "You come on, U.S. government suggestion. Okay, so you're basically in. I mean, a psychic is pretty useful. I'd recommend taking an English class from what this says. Seems like you're not capable of speaking the language yet. Yeah, with your psychic powers you don't need it, but there'll be situations where not being able to understand a supervillain who has mental blockades against psychics like you will become an issue."
Moon nods a bit, like, dejectedly.
Don't need to take that personally. You're not the first. He looks around to the others and then shrugs. You're not the first alien we have here.
Moon, like, stands stock still and sort of, like, looks at the others from, like, the corner of their eye and tries to guess what how they're reacting, and you get a wave of, like, fear and anger at Knight Rider.
Did he just say alien? He just said alien, right?
Yeah, I think he did. Are you an alien?
Oh my god, that is so cool!
Yeah, you can flip out about that later on. He turns around to Max. Alright, Max, ecstatic. Oh yeah. Electric powers, magnetic powers, that's why you're here, I see. He makes another note. We look deliberately for people with these kinds of powers, with how many supervillains are using, doomsday devices, power suits. Electric and magnetic powers are actually extremely useful, so you get in on power set alone. You don't have to worry about that.
Moon thinks at the entire room and says, "I find it very interesting how often you use the concept of useful. It's a bit unusual to talk about people that way."
Well, we are an organization of superheroes. If you're here because you can be useful in...
Yeah, but people are more than just their powers.
Of course they are. Look, I know this sounds wrong. I know this sounds not like, I don't know, how you might have imagined the great superhero lifestyle, but we have to think practically here sometimes if we send people into dangerous situations.
What I'm most surprised by is that the leader of such an organization would be so clouded in his judgment by his personal feelings, actually.
I'd say, okay, is that a provoke someone?
That sounds provocative.
It's definitely
that sounds like
provocative.
a provoke someone to me. Roll me a plus superior.
So if I wanted to help, it would be like support someone, I guess? Or defend when I'm protecting
It could be
someone.
defend. It could be defend, yeah.
Okay.
So I rolled a 4 and 5, and that's... I have a +2 on superior, so I have a +11.
Nice.
That's nice. Okay, then
That was way better than my roll.
So since this is an NPC that you used provoke someone on, you get them to where you want them. What do you want him? How do you want him to respond to that?
What I would like to happen for him is actually to lash out, but obviously realize that that's not very professional.
He becomes kind of red in the face and turns towards Max and says, "Clouded in my judgment? Do you know what I've been through? Do you know what I've been through this past year? I lost the greatest superhero of all time. I lost my mentor, the most important person in my life. And since then, people have been showing up wearing his crest who have not done the work, who have put themselves in the position that my mentor held without any consideration as to what that name means. Yes, my judgment is a bit clouded in this one instance. Don't I have the fucking right to be clouded in this situation?"
But he was my mentor as well, so you don't have any right to judge me about it.
He's breathing very heavily as he turns towards Charlotte, and you can see that he's like, his head is sinking into his hand. He's trying to gather his thoughts. "You come with a recommendation with his name on it. I recognize that. I recognize that he must have seen something in you. But can't you see how having people show up here wearing a gravestone on their chest is hurtful? Can't you see that that's disrespectful?
Of course it's disrespectful. I was really shocked when I heard about it, but that's not what I'm doing. I just want to honor him. Listen, you don't have to believe that I'm worthy of him. Just give me a chance to prove myself.
Julian, I would like to do something a bit unusual.
I would, outside of you doing something unusual, I would want Charlotte in the situation to roll a comfort or support, but...
That's
Okay.
what I wanted to help with, because I thought I would like to try to link their minds via my own and let them feel each other's feelings.
Okay. Then I would say you can add a team to this if necessary.
Okay.
Okay, I'm rolling. Oh, I have a 10. Wait, what?
Mm-hmm. Plus mundane is +3 for you, I think, right now.
Oh, no, mundane is +1 for me.
Ah, okay. They mark potential clearer condition or shift labels if they open up to you. On a 10+, you can also add a team to the pool and clear condition yourself. So, since the person you're comforting and supporting isn't a player character, and since their labels are set, since they're an adult character, I would say that he can clear his angry condition.
Mm-hmm.
And you can add a team to the pool and clear a condition.
Okay, I would like to clear my angry as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. Hearing your words, he makes a few steps to behind the desk, sits down. He doesn't seem to be looking at any of you right now, and picks up a phone that's placed on his desk and hits a number into the device before putting the speaker up to his ear. You can hear him say a few words. The situation with the train? Yeah. Still about? Okay, I see. Alright. I got it covered. He puts the phone down again, puts his hands together, and moves his chair so he's looking directly at the three of you again and says, okay, you get a chance. You get one chance to get in. That villain you fought before, Duplex, it appears my people weren't able to catch him after he escaped your train. He's been attacking monorails all month at this point, and we haven't been able to catch him yet. He somehow travels underground in a way that we can't follow him at. Bring him in, and you're in.
Hold on. We three, who you just said have no prior experience, we are supposed to catch someone you haven't been able, you and your entire organization, to catch in a month?
Yes, you have no prior experience. So get some experience now.
Moon shakes their head.
Come on, we can do that.
Do we have at least a file on him that we can look at?
You can ask the people who've dealt with him before. Incent should still be down there in the lobby. Maybe you can get some useful information out of him. And Transistor is the hero who followed him when he escaped you, so maybe you can get some more information from her. Just ask around. Research is an important part of the catching the villain process.
Then we'll get him to you as soon as possible.
He nods and spins his chair around, looking outside of the large window at the city below, as the elevator doors open once again. And
End scene.
here's our ad break.
So,
Hey.
Casper, if you're listening, Squarespace, we always
you-
open.
No, don't use their names. Say, well-known, I don't know, mattress company.
Mattress company.
Hey, are you thirsty? And is actual Coca-Cola branded product too expensive for you? Go for store brand cola. It is affordable.
I mean, we could say that, like, we are financing this. Our sponsors are, like, our project. So if ever anyone wants to plug their, like, project or something, we could do that. Visit my Etsy
I mean,
shop.
maybe. I have another podcast that's updating very, very rarely. If you're interested in literally only the bad anime school days and nothing else, that podcast is great for you.
Dude, you also do a lot of voice acting. You could plug that.
Oh yeah, I do voice acting, right. Hey, if you're listening to this in an upload on maybe my YouTube channel or something, you're probably only there because I do voice acting. I do voice acting. Watch The Lie of Sex. It's on YouTube. We made a movie. It got finally released after years of production last summer. If you're into it, look at that. It has also aliens in it, but they're the bad guys.
Oh, right. We might have to address that.
Well, I think Max would go to the elevator as quick as possible and not really speak until they're basically out of the zone. Because she was actually really intimidated by Knight Rider. And the fact that he basically shouted at her was not great.
Yeah, so you have probably I can imagine at the start, the elevator doors close and the high-speed elevator takes you down, and there's just a bit of awkward silence for a second there.
After some moments, Charlotte says, "Thank you for your help. I really appreciate it."
Yeah, no problem.
And also Max, thank you for standing up for me.
Yeah,
Oh
that
yeah,
was
sure.
awesome.
No problem. I mean, I just kind of insulted one of my biggest heroes, but, he was being a bit of a jerk, so...
You did well. And Moon sort of awkwardly claps Max's shoulder. Yeah, good job.
The elevator takes you back to the bottom floor, where you're back in the Hall of Heroes at the entrance, and back with the information desk, which is probably the best way to start your research.
So, do we get information from Incense? Is he still outside sitting in the bus, or?
You don't see the bus outside anymore.
Maybe we could ask at the desk if Incense or Transistor, somewhere around.
You make your way towards the receptionist's desk, and she turns towards you once again. Ah, you're back. How did it go?
It was okay.
Oh, that bad, huh?
We got our first mission, so that's great.
First mission? Alright. Anything you need help with?
Yeah, Incent and Transistor are supposed to give us a bit of a setup so we know the things and can actually do the work.
Incent and Transistor, let me just look where the GPS is right now. She types a few keys on her keyboard and then turns towards you and says again, Incent is on floor 23 right now. I can call him down here if you want. While Transistor... she's at the scene of the crime where a supervillain escaped today.
If you could call down Incent, that would be great.
Crime scene might be... It might be our crime scene. That could be very useful.
Yeah, but we're already here, so let's talk to Incent first.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, let's just talk to Incent first, because, he's already here.
Okay.
She calls Incent down pretty quickly, and not too long after that, the elevator doors open once again, and you see Incent once more. He's wearing this superhero mask with the hair coming out at the top, and he has it pulled down like a hoodie at this point, and is eating a hot dog as he walks towards you. Hey, the teen heroes from before. I remember you.
I'm not a teen.
The comparatively young heroes from before.
Moon sends a thought to Max. What is that in his hand?
Max sends back just these images of getting hot dogs at the beach where she lived, and just how tasty they are, and it's the greatest thing to get.
Moon instantly wants to have a hot dog.
What can I help you with? I've been called down here. You need anything? I'm actually on my break right now.
Sorry to interrupt you in your break, but, crime never sleeps. So,
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So we just wanted to ask you some questions about.
Okay, yeah, you can get an autograph. You don't have to, like, it's not a big deal. You could have asked right from the get-go. I always have a pen on me.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you.
Moon sort of gets a bit exasperated and sends him an image of the train and the person and the feeling of like questioning and the need for like, I want to find them.
Charlotte
Whoa,
is
whoa,
searching
whoa,
in her
whoa,
bag
whoa.
for something to autograph.
Hey, no mind control, please. I'm on my break. Hey.
I'm not mind controlling you. I can't. No, this is, you know, the case where you found us. We need some more info on that because that's our mission. We have to find the guy that you haven't been able to find for like months.
He has the pen in his hand already, and he puts it down again and says, "Oh yeah, for sure. I see. He puts it back in a small holster on his belt.
Here's your utility belt. It has everything you need for crime fighting and autographs.
It has everything you need for autographs. All right.
Charlotte stands
Sure.
there very awkwardly with a piece of paper in her hand.
What info do you need? Anything specific?
Well, just what do you know about Duplex? Do you know anything about him except that he's, attacking monorails?
Basically only general information, what we've learned so far. Like, his name, Duplex, is one that's been given to him by us. It's kind of difficult to chase something if you don't have a name for it. We called him Duplex because that's what his suit is made of, Duplex steel. It's like, I don't know, some sort of blend of metal. I'm not a metallologist or whatever.
Do I know about that? Or is it like, I don't know the word, I probably would not.
Yeah,
have
you
a clue
probably
about
don't know the word.
Okay.
You probably can't really connect it to something.
Okay.
He's been essentially, he's attacked monorails, like only monorails. Keeps showing up really quickly by sort of riding on the rails, crashes into the monorails, causes destruction, and as soon as any sort of superhero shows up, he books it and disappears too quickly for us to really chase him much.
Is there any pattern, like the same routes or the time of day or anything?
Well, there isn't that many routes. Basically, at this point, the only still active route of the monorail is the scenic route that tourists use. There used to be a lot more, like we also had underground monorails and stuff like that, but they're just not economic anymore.
Moon sends a quick thought at the other two. Didn't the Night Rider say that he's like moving underground? Maybe he's using the old monorails. If you can ride on them, I would do it. Can we get a plan? And Moon sends the thoughts to Incense again. Can we get a plan of the monorail system, like all of them? The active ones and the inactive ones?
Well, actually, him traveling through the monorail, I heard that before. I heard that theory before. That's basically what Transistor has been saying. He pulls out a small communication device from his pocket and makes types a little bit on it before pointing it towards you, and you see a number on there. Just call her up. I'm sure she has more information for you on that. I think she already looked for that. So you'd probably save a lot more time if you sort of work together on that one.
What does Max do when she gets the telephone number of an actual practicing superhero?
She actually just looks at Incent and said, "Can I still get that autograph? I kind of have a collection going, and I'm still missing a lot of the SOS members."
Oh yeah, for sure. Just don't, what's your name? I always put the person's name on it, because, like, there's this whole eBay market about it, yeah.
Well, I think you should just put ecstatic. Like, the letter X dash
Oh
static.
yeah, right. I remember, you mentioned that. He pulls the pen out again, and actually does give you an autograph.
Thank you.
What kind of signature does he use? Is it like, I imagine it's a big flowy, showy one with many like unnecessary like swirls and stuff.
Yeah, very much the kind of thing you'd see in gold on a card specifically made for autographs. Like, his pen is even a gold pen. And he put a small little flame on top of the dash.
I mean, now it's
Nice
kind of
touch.
cute. I hate him less now.
All right, then. Oh, yeah, right, you need... He goes towards the receptionist and says, you got a spare device, spare comms? She actually does hand him one, and he gives it to you. This isn't a phone number. This is a comms number. But, you can use this one. You have recommendations. You're basically in, right?
Yeah, totally.
Moon nods.
Absolutely.
For sure. All right. Well, then, see you around, heroes. And he walks backwards back into the elevator. He doesn't seem to know how to leave a situation.
Honestly, relatable.
Charlotte awkwardly puts the piece of paper back in her pocket because she didn't have an autograph.
I mean, you didn't actually want that autograph, did you?
That's true.
Moon turns around and sort of like puts their hands on their hips and says, "Okay, there's one important thing we have to do." And she looks at Max and says, "Where do I get a hot dog?"
Let's talk to Transistor first, and then I'm gonna buy you a hot dog.
But it looks so. It's so. I can almost taste it. I need a hot dog.
I'd like a hot dog too.
As heroes, we have to put the work first.
Of course.
Do you just go to the location you've been told, or do you try to call Transistor?
I would try to call Transistor first.
Okay, yeah. You pretty quickly get a response. Hi, Transistor.
Hey, this is Ecstatic. I'm part of a hero group that's really new, and we just got a
Okay,
mission
how did you get the
from-
number?
Incent gave us the number.
Ugh, fucking hell. Okay.
We were
No privacy, that guy.
we were actually just told by Knight Rider to get in on the whole Duplex mission.
Oh, fucking hell. Okay, you're newcomers, right?
Yep.
All right. Okay. Guess I gotta babysit. I'm at the. Wait, are you the ones from the monorail?
Yes.
All right. Okay. All right. Then I can pick you up right where that thing crashed.
Yes, we're gonna be there as fast as possible. We're still at the SOS, but we're gonna be there.
That's not far. See you in 20. The communication device shuts off.
Alright, time to get back to the scene of the crime.
Okay.
You make your way through the streets of the city. Does Charlotte want to speed ahead, or how do you want to do that?
Yeah. I want to speed ahead and just look around. Maybe I find some clues or whatever.
You could also pick the others up, probably, right? Like, I assume you can carry up to one additional person at the very least.
Yeah, I find it a little bit too OC to be carrying people all the time. So I would say I can only do that for very short amounts of time.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can imagine that just really depowering you.
Yeah.
And it makes more sense, like, when you saved the people on the train, you basically only had, like, I don't know, 20 feet.
Yeah.
Like you had to fast travel there.
Yeah.
Okay, so you basically move ahead, and while the others are still on the way, you see Transistor arrive.
I want to make sure to make clear that every time we pass any sort of like fast food establishment, or so that Moon looks at Max meaningfully and sends her a picture of a hot dog and like the sense of craving.
Transistor shows up. You remember when Duplex escaped, you saw something that you thought was a black arrow the size of a vehicle that rushed by the train in hot pursuit. And now you see what that was. You see a flying black jet bike that's kind of built more like a trike, like it's a very wide in the back and very thin in the front, with thrusters and turbines that emit violet purplish energy field. That flying bike slowly comes down right next to Charlotte, hovering downwards as the turbines turn towards the ground. And as it comes to a halt, a woman in a black one-piece suit that sort of has a faux leather kind of vibe to it, with a magenta lightning motif on it, and gauntlets with magenta Tesla coils wrapped around them, jumps off of the bike and comes towards Charlotte, taking off the goggles on her face as she does so, and extends her hand towards her. Hiya there. You must be one of the people that just called me, right?
Yes, I'm Starbolt.
Starbolt, right. Yeah, I see the costume. Ooh, okay. Boss didn't throw you out?
No, he wasn't very happy about it, but we had a conversation about it.
Nah, I can imagine, yeah.
I'm actually Starbolt's legacy.
Yeah, for sure. Not the first one to say this, but hey, who am I to judge? You know, it's about time that guy gets a follow-up.
He actually chose me for that.
Hey, I'm not the judge of that. I'm not the person to judge that. I'm gonna stay out of that one.
If Moon was here, she would feel a wave of frustration.
I can feel it from like a kilometer away. What?
As you talk, Max and Moon show up and have made their way to the scene now as well.
Moon waves.
That's gotta be the other ones, right?
I can already tell this speedster thing is gonna be a bit annoying.
Moon nods. Kinda cool.
I'm sorry,
though.
I just thought I could, help out a little bit if I arrived sooner.
Yeah, just warn us next time.
I'm sorry, I should work on my people skills. It won't happen again, I promise.
It could have been worse. She could have been able to fly, and we would all like walk around, and she would be flying.
Oh, that happens. Flying is one of the buyable powers. That fucking sucks. Like, there's so many superheroes with flying powers these days. And most of them are completely useless. Like, just some rich kids who inject themselves with superpowers for fun.
Quick question. I hate to ask that like every time we meet another person. Does Transistor react in any way to the psychic thing?
Probably like slightly. Like, you can assume that most people who are superheroes who've dealt with psychics before do react, but not in like shock.
It's more like startlement. Oh, okay, and then just adjust and.
Okay,
going.
psychic. I see, and then just keep talking. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's nice to have a new superhero team join the organization. We get a few people all the time, but most of the time they have to learn to work with others. It's really cool that you've already bonded here. We're really wishing the best to you, Starbolt, the new one, with our boss. That he hasn't sent you for the hills yet is a pretty good sign.
Well, thanks. That's actually pretty nice to hear.
So, what do you know? What do you want to find out?
Well, we know he's been attacking the monorails. What we've been thinking about is that he might use the old monorail tunnels to get around.
Yeah, I've been there too, that point of the theory. It's probably best if I show you. She jumps back onto the jet bike and motions you to get up behind her after she pulls a small lever that extends 4 more seats in the back.
Cool.
That's a neat ride.
Oh yeah, it's also like powered by my, powers. It's a pretty cool invention.
Did you make it yourself?
I made version 1.0 myself, but I didn't make this version myself. She punches her fists together and like small electrical sparks fly from them. I prefer channeling my powers through equipment instead of, brute forcing it.
Cool. I did some tinkering on my vehicle as well.
Ah, nice. I'm sure we can have a nice talk about that one. But now get in. We gotta solve a crime.
Hey guys, now you can be as fast as I am.
Woo!
Max is thinking at Moon, is your vehicle a spaceship?
Yeah.
Okay, I buy you a hot dog, you show me your alien spaceship.
Deal.
You get back in the back of the jet bike, and after you hover upwards slightly and the turbines turn back towards the back of the vehicle, you suddenly, with an immense thrust, just fly ahead, and you have absolutely no idea how someone controls something at this speed. But Transistor somehow manages, as she flies through small alleyways and small streets, and just a few seconds later, with a very sudden stop, halts in the air again and slowly rises downwards. All right, we're here. Scene of the crime.
Is this safe? I learned some stuff about like what kind of velocities you are allowed to use like in atmosphere, and this seems quite fast.
safe if you know how to control it. The boss has a pretty similar one, and he manages to,
Knight Rider has a ride?
Yeah, I mean, the name might have been a giveaway, right?
I assume do I sense like any sort of picture what this might look like in her thoughts?
You see basically a souped up motorcycle, essentially. But also with like these energy thrusters to its sides.
Fancy.
Yeah, I mean, he used to be a sidekick to a speed-based superhero. If you don't have any powers like him, you gotta catch up somehow.
Makes sense.
She jumps off of the bike as soon as it reaches the ground and walks with you towards something that pretty clearly looks like someone ripped open the ground. You see, like, piping and steel supports reaching out of the ground as if someone had, put their hands into the asphalt and ripped it apart. And you see traces of large hands digging right underneath it. Well, there we are. That's where I followed the guy. When I got inside there, it was already collapsed. I assume he tried to destroy it behind him. But I've been putting some work into, laying it open again.
Do you have a map of the underground portion of the monorail?
I've asked for one from the corporation who built that thing. They haven't gotten back to me yet, but based on what I've heard of the other scenes of the crime before, that's what makes the most sense to me. I mean, he travels via monorail, and there's this large monorail network underground, right?
Do you know if there's like an entrance somewhere to the old monorails? Because I could just, get in and have a look around.
Yeah, there's a lot of them actually. Most of them have just been, welded shut or filled with cement when they shut down most of the monorail network. But there's still a few open ones. There's one right at the train station. There's one SOS headquarters. And some others. There used to be some of the larger corporations of the city used to have a direct access for their workers. And most of those are still open.
So, how many times has the armor been damaged? I heard it's made of dynamo steel.
It's made of Duplex. I don't know that much about it.
Okay.
I only heard about it when they told me what its name was. From what I hear,
Okay.
it's basically a steel that's especially conductive, and from what I read about it, it has some useful magnetic properties that you don't get in stainless steel usually.
Because I would assume he has to fix the armor somehow, which means he has to get the steel from somewhere, and I can't think of many sellers for that.
That's actually a pretty good point. I'm sure we can look into that. Do some research. You are?
Ecstatic.
Ecstatic. I see there's a lightning motif there. Also electricity?
Yes, electrodynamic control.
Ah, nice. You're one of the brute forces, right?
Well, yeah.
I mean, if it works, it works. I'm sure we can swap a bit of trade secrets later on. Always happy to see someone new try it out.
Max is very excited. Ecstatic, you might say.
But
Moon sends her like a picture of the fireworks that Ecstatic does.
Ah, nice. Your buddy there is sending me fireworks. That's a fun way of using those powers, but I'm a big fighter for precision over spectacle, you could say.
I mean,
Well, I do wear giant Tesla coils on my arms that I don't really need, but
Well, that's
Got it.
presentation. That has nothing to do with how you use your powers.
Yeah, right, gotta intimidate the villains somewhat, and if you look good on camera, only better, right? Well, either way, I've basically made the tunnel mostly accessible again, just a little bit more work. I'm sure if a speedster helps, that's done a lot faster.
absolutely. I mean,
Yeah, just gotta
I
excavate
can
a
do
little.
that.
Any of you else have excavation-based powers?
I can help, and Moon lifts the arms and the bands unravel and sort of hover there.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty nice. Telekinetic?
Kinda, yeah. I can control them with my mind, so kinda.
Ah, perfect. All right, then let's get digging. So as Charlotte and Moon start excavating, does Max want to check somehow on steel production and stuff like that?
Yeah, I would love that.
I'd say you don't have to necessarily roll something for that, right?
I mean, I assume I just use Google or
Yeah, I assume
the
you just do
equivalent of
research. Unless you have a specific move that helps you with research situations or something like that.
I do not.
Okay.
I could use my spaceship, but my spaceship is too far away right now.
Damn
I'm
the
thinking of that
government.
Yeah, I'm thinking of that like you're sitting on the toilet and you're too far away for your phone to grab the Wi-Fi. So you like move it around like, somewhere here.
No, I thought more about it like there's no parking space in like the inner part of the city, so you have to park like half an hour outside of it and walk in or something, or take the bus or something. So like, oh no, I had the perfect thing for that in my car, but my car is so far away. I mean, my ship has one of the strengths we gave it is research AI, so it would be very helpful right now.
Yeah, but otherwise Max just sort of, pulls out the phone and starts Googling, I guess.
Yep.
Max pulls out their phone and starts binging, because Bing won in this universe.
That's
What a terrible universe it is.
Why don't people just stay searching? It's like the exact same number of syllables, and you like don't use all the.
Because searching can mean a lot of things.
Yeah, so Max bings for who in the city produces Duplex steel.
Yep.
And figures out that, like basic information. I think what you would find in a Google search is Duplex steel is used in the production of a lot of things in the city. Especially like because the city uses magnetics for propulsion on both elevators and on railways. There is a corporation in the city that actually like runs the railroad system called Waypoint's Incorporated Metals and Pipelines that also used to run the pipeline system and the canalization system of the city.
Hold on. So their name is WIMP.
Yes.
WIMP, get our steel from us.
Yeah, so the WIMP Corporation. Basically, they used to be a pretty big corporation, but at this point, they mainly run the magnetic railroad. And they also produce the magnetic elevators that aren't used a lot. So they are, by this point, a pretty small corporation, but they use Duplex steel for its magnetic properties. You also find out that like a lot of buildings are at least partially built with it. Because when building very high buildings, they like to use magnetics as a sort of stabilizing factor in the city. And as a result of that, it's used in a lot of the skyscrapers as well, who are produced by a variety of corporations.
I want, like in the season finale, that Max just sort of like uses all the duplex in the city to just hover around and like Magneto around.
I've actually been
the
thinking about incorporating metal into maybe the boots of the costume or something.
Oh, I want this so bad.
There's this really old panel of, I think, one of the first issues of Teen Titans when it first started, where like Wonder Girl, what was it? She like catches supervillains, like attracts them to her hands, like they fly towards her hands or something, and she says like, "Yes, because I can magnetize and unmagnetize my bracelets. I could pull you towards me." And it's okay. Are they metal? How does this work?
I mean, you could
That's
sort
not
of
how magnets work.
It's the iron in the blood.
Yeah.
No, I mean you could just it's your belt buckle and the buttons
For
on your
sure.
shirt and your
Fucking magnets, how do
necklace.
they work? While Max is doing her research, Charlotte and Moon help out with digging the hole. I don't think we need a move for that. Like, if you just take a bit of time, you can easily get there. And not too long afterwards, you actually manage to excavate what was under there. You're basically on the edge of like a collapsed bit of road. So there's like the small mountain of debris you're on top of now, and the mountain is inside of an underground tunnel. And it does appear to cover a good chunk of another monorail track, just like the one you saw high above the city that's inside of a tunnel underneath the road.
So let me get this straight. The entire city is like riddled with tunnels that no one is using for anything.
Not right now. They used to be used for the monorail network, but when the monorail network became uneconomic, they basically just shut them down because that's a lot cheaper than like filling them up, you know?
But couldn't you just like make streets or something? To like
I mean, there's streets above them already, right?
yeah, but they what is the traffic like in Waypoint when we were like soaring over the city? I assume it's a big city, so more streets are never
Yeah.
an inconvenience.
It's a big city, but there's actually not a lot of traffic. That's something that you would have noticed.
Okay.
There's actually not a lot of people driving inside of the city.
Cool.
Well, we don't need that many roads. We actually have like certain laws here. You can only drive inside the city if you have a specific purpose here. If you live inside the city, you can't park your vehicle inside the city. It was built in the 60s. They had a lot of concerns about like inner city structure back then. And while we have a highway now, finally, that actually leads inside the city, these rules are still there.
Okay.
That highway has led to monorails not making a lot of sense anymore. We have a bus system now. And that's a lot cheaper. Monorails were pretty flashy, but you know, retrofuturism, like this whole retrofuturism thing, it has its limits in usefulness.
Yeah, I noticed it's like super inefficient. I mean, like,
Oh yeah, extremely.
super inefficient.
Yeah, they've been talking about shutting the whole monorail down altogether, like a good while ago. But the tourists like it.
I liked it. Just once, and then we were attacked by a villain, so I guess let's...
I haven't actually ridden it since they built the highway and since the buses came in. But I remember it being pretty fun, yeah.
So should we, like, maybe stop the person who is destroying it?
Yeah, for sure. It's just, you know, that's been a couple hours. She slides down into the cave system and hits her arms together, which makes the Tesla coils on her arms glow a magenta light. It's pretty dark in here, but if you want to look around...
I mean, I can definitely look around. I guess that would be more helpful and a little bit faster, I guess.
That sounds pretty good. I'd try looking for exits to this certain section here. There should be at least some still intact. He must have used one of them.
Yeah, I'll look out for that. So do you want me to make a roll for that?
Let's see, what would be the most
Unleash your
logical
powers?
here?
I mean, unleash your powers, I guess.
But overcome an obstacle or extend your...
I'd say roll and unleash your powers, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the obstacle is we don't know where to go.
Mm.
Or you could say it's extend your senses in the way of I'm getting a sense of the location of the exits.
Yeah.
Okay, no.
I extend my senses by looking a bunch.
Okay.
Extending your senses makes a lot of sense. Like, you extend your senses from not using your speed powers.
Okay, so I rolled unleash your powers now.
Yes.
And I've-
That is plus freak.
Time
Yeah,
to
I have a
get
9 because
freaky.
I have 0 on freak.
Okay. On a 9, you mark a condition, or the DM will tell you how the effect is unstable or temporary. I'm gonna say you mark a condition because you've already used your speed powers a good bunch today, and I feel like at this point maybe your like medical issues come in the way of it. Like you just exhausted your body a bit with all this use of your speed powers.
Yeah.
So you can mark a condition of your choice.
I mean, I could add like a condition that is just, pain. Or I could...
That's an option. The conditions just tend to be more, emotional in a way.
Yeah, so...
But
What I thought is
None
maybe
of them-
guilty because if you're already like insecure about if you can measure up, then like, oh no, I failed my team. I can't do what I try to. Like guilty.
Yeah.
yeah, but also like you do it.
Oh. Okay.
I would say I mark hopeless.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, given your whole day so far of being told you're not good enough, and now you feel like your powers are already kind of failing you slightly.
Yeah.
I mean,
I can see some
maybe both of
hopelessness.
you can think about whether you want a whole mechanic that involves the pain thing or whether that's just narrative.
We talked about
Okay.
that. We talked about that. I just thought it's probably most easy to use it in that way,
Yeah.
where it's more narrative
Yeah.
than having it be like, a downside mechanic. It could have actually, like, there are playbooks where this whole thing could have very easily been incorporated into mechanics. Like, for example, the Nova has something that very much goes into the direction of overexerting yourself with your powers. And I tried to sort of fit that into this playbook. But I think keeping it narrative makes the most sense in this situation.
Yeah.
Especially because the game gives you the option a lot of the time to either do this or that as the game master. And like that makes it very easy to incorporate specific character traits like
this game is just generally very narrative based.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say it like this. You speed up and down the underground railway, and you notice what you notice pretty quickly as you make your way into like tunnels that move away from this main tunnel and other stuff like that, is that a lot of them seem to also be collapsed in a very similar way, where it looks like someone sort of dug their way inside. So you kind of get the feeling that this is sort of a road to a hideout that's used a lot, and that whoever has been digging these must have a pretty good understanding of how this underground railway system is set up. Moving around, you do spot a few exits, but as you try to follow them, you very quickly notice that they've been either like welded shut, that they've been closed down. You see locked doors at the end sometimes. And you also see some that clearly used to, like they have branding above them of whatever company they used to belong to. You see one for a news station where people apparently used to use this underground railroad to get there. You see one from a pretty big mall, but all of those have also been welded shut. But after a while, you actually manage to spot one that seems to be open.
Okay.
Where it looks like this one has been left alone when they closed down this system. And above it, you see also a branding. You see the name of a company there.
Okay.
More specifically, Waypoint Incorporated Metals and
Of
Pipelines.
course. So hold on. Someone who uses duplex steel that is only made in one specific point, that has access to the railroads, knows about the railroads and how they're set up, and someone who has like a problem with them. I wonder which company that points towards. Let's find disgruntled employee TM.
Sort of exhausted by her condition, Charlotte appears out of the tunnel again after a while, bathed in the magenta light of Transistor's gloves.
So I go towards a wall and lean against it. I try to appear cool, but I'm actually doing it to relieve some pain.
Moon whips the head around to you and comes over and says, how can I help?
I'm fine. Don't
I
mention
want to
it.
comfort
Don't mention
her.
it. I'm totally fine.
Oh no. That is a 3. And my mundane is 0, so that's a 3.
That's the karma you get for not waiting for your DM to tell you to roll a move.
I mean,
That's what happens. That's what happens.
I just want to help.
On a hit, they hear you. On a 10+, you also add team to the pool. In this situation, I'd say, first of all, you mark potential.
Yay.
And I'd say, like, in trying to comfort Charlotte, you notice that you make the pain worse.
I mean, it does make sense. It kind of makes sense narratively, because Charlotte doesn't want to mention.
Yeah.
I want Moon to mention that and just keep
I
quiet
mean, we
about
could
it.
just say it might be like mentally, like Moon senses immediately that like Charlotte like lashes out like no, that's not something I want to talk about.
Yeah, okay, like you notice that Charlotte actively closes herself off to you.
I feel
when you try
guilty
to
now. I
approach
just
about
wanted to help.
Yes. Transistor walks over to the two of you and sort of rubs her hand. Hey, everything okay over there?
Oh, I'm fine. Just, thinking. So I found something. And, there were a lot of collapsed tunnels. So I think this route has been used by Duplex several times. So, yeah, also found a lot of stations and exits, which have all been, shut. But I found one that's still open. And that one had like a branding over it, and it read Waypoint, Incorporated Metal and Pipelines.
Oh boy, okay. Disgruntled employee story, huh?
I mean, probably.
It sometimes comes down to that.
Moon looks over
alright,
to Max. Isn't that the one that you found too?
Yep.
Oh.
Looks like the leads are converging.
Well, in that case, we better talk. We better stop by their CEO, and I don't know, maybe he knows who that might be. Anyways, good work. Really respect the hustle. You did a good job there.
Thank you.
Like, I already thought about the underground monorail system, but you came to that conclusion yourself. That's pretty impressive. I want to get out of this tunnel now, though. It's pretty dark, and my eyes don't like just looking at magenta for half an hour, so...
Magenta's a fake color, by the way.
Well, don't tell that to her, because it's one of the super colors.
No, it's just like, it's actually like a accident of sight. Because
I know.
Oh, okay.
I know it's not on the rainbow.
No, I mean, it's actually pretty cool because, like, the way our brain, like, interprets data, everything about, like, our calculations would say, oh, this is green. This wavelength, this thing I'm seeing is green. But since our brain notices, like, no, it's just, like, the average of the wavelength. It's not, like, green wavelength, and we have to be pretty good at seeing what is green and what is not green because, like, our life depends on it. Seeing what is a plant and what is not a plant. That's why it interprets this color as not green, something what's far away from green. It's magenta. So magenta is not actually a color. It's just our brain trying to find something that is not green.
I like to imagine Moon like actively telling everyone that.
Yeah.
as they leave the underground. All right, that building is over there. Hey, there's a pretty good kebab stand right next to it if any of you are in the mood.
Hot dogs? Hot dogs?
Hot dogs aren't kebabs, no. I mean, we could also go for hot dogs.
I mean, I kind of already promised Moon a hot dog.
Yes, hot dogs. Hot dogs ain't planning.
Sure, why not? They have vegan hot dogs. I'm fine with that.
Yes.
In that moment, Max has a thought like, oh yeah, I should probably tell Moon what things are made out of animals. It seems like a pretty big deal to tell to an alien so they can make a choice on what they consume.
As you all get to ponder that thought, you make your way over to the hot dog stand.
Okay, time to make a plan. That's always a nice ending to something.
That works. Hey, we're professionals. This is
yeah.
a
Just
podcast
one
made by
cliche sentence, and then.
Anyways, you got to finally chase a supervillain,
Yay.
the superhero experience.
Yay.
Also, just in general, please remind me to get an autograph of like every hero we meet.
You didn't ask.
Remind yourself of that. I have a lot to juggle already, alright?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. The other two remind me of that.
Okay. So you don't have one by Transistor yet, right?
No, but it wasn't really the right time, you know.
That's
Yeah,
true.
that's gonna come up.
The work does come first.
We can start the next episode on your little lunch. Maybe you can ask for one.
Yeah,
then.
maybe. And I mean, I feel like Knight Rider will be a challenge.
Yeah, definitely.
And
But yeah, I have
maybe
a quest to get all of the SOS autographs. Not because I think all of them are cool, but just because I need it to be complete.
and if you do that, you unlock your
Understandable.
moment of truth.
Of course, I have in advance made a list of every single member of the SOS
Yep.
because I come prepared to my episodes.
Oh, Mimi, you could like get some piece of like just paperwork and say, "Hey, Knight Rider, this needs your signature on it," and just like or steal like something that has a signature on it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, and then he says, no.
I mean, Why would I
Prove it.
give him something to sign, like, officially?
If you gave him something to sign, he would definitely read it.
Dude, I would love to have like a side quest where we try to like heist style try to get a Knight Rider signature on something.
That's something for like the special holiday episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a bonus episode.
That's for the filler episodes. that
I'm
don't
gonna
make
look
it,
up
that aren't in
maybe
the
a
manga.
system
I
that
would
does
say,
heists.
Guys, this is a perfect live episode. So, dear listeners, get us to that point. If you want to see a signature heist episode or want to hear it, then get us to enough people that we can do a live one.
That's like 10 steps ahead of where we are.
Yeah. Listen, we don't
Live
even have a
episodes are
trailer
so
yet.
far in the future. We don't even have an upload yet. But yeah, next episode is, I think / hope, gonna be the last one of this introductory chapter. At least that's the idea right now. And after that, we'll start into like the main situation proper. It might be that the next episode is going to be a slightly longer one again. Up until this point, the episodes have been somewhere between. I think the first episode we did was like under an hour, and every single one after that was between an hour and an hour and a half.
I think that's a
The
good
next
length.
one might be slightly longer. I think this one is going to be slightly shorter, but we're going to see. And yeah, see you guys next time then for hopefully, potentially, the finale of this little intro section of the adventure. This first arc of this superhero comic. And until then, bye-bye and have a nice time. Bye!
Goodbye.